Hey guys, so I titled this video Mentored by Warren Buffett. And I just want to say right away, I have never been directly mentored by Warren Buffett, but this is actually an explanation why. So I have some good friends, and sometimes we sit together and discuss money and discuss investing. And what they were saying were that, and this is like years ago, and they were saying that I should not, be inventing the whole investing way of thinking by myself. What would probably be easier was to look at the most successful people out there and just do the same thing as they were doing. Because what my friends were saying was that if you're doing the same thing as everyone else, you'll end up with the same things. But if you're doing the same thing as successful people, you'll end up with success. So that really inspired me. And what I did when I got home that evening was to Google the Forbes list. And on top of that list were Bill Gates. So I thought, could I imitate Bill Gates? And whatever came into my mind, I remember something like computers, programming, all that sort of things, and I had no clue about how to do that. So next on the list, that was Warren Buffett. And back then, I didn't know, too much about Warren Buffett. Clearly, I know his name and what he was doing, but I didn't really know that much about him. So I looked more into it and saw, that he had made some great stock picks. And, I thought, well, I don't know if I can make great stock picks, but that seems easier than founding Microsoft. So I know it sounds silly, but that was kind of my way of thinking. And just as a side note here, that was actually how I got to know Preston. Because he was really interested in Warren Buffett too, and so we met each other online in terms of creating all the content that you're watching right now. But anyway, so I was thinking, how could I be mentored by Warren Buffett? Because I also heard from my friends that one thing is doing the same thing as successful people. The best thing is really to be personal mentored by that person. And I was thinking, so how can I, be mentored by Warren Buffett? Because you probably don't have time to that. And yeah, I didn't even bother, reaching out to him because, why would he respond? So instead, what I did was to read everything that he has been saying, all the interviews that he had and, the letters, So basically, when I say that I've been mentored by Warren Buffett, it really starts with this, this, thin book, which was his letters to shareholders. So I read a lot of the letters. I read a lot of the books that have been written about him. A lot of the interviews. I'll make sure to throw in a few links. And one link in particular I learned a lot from. And that link is called Buffett's FAQ. And I just want to show you that site really fast. So this is a completely free site that you can just find online. The URL is buffettfaq.com, and in here you have a compendium of Q&As with Warren Buffett. And I don't know how many times I read this. So for instance, if I was thinking about Berkshire, well, here you can see all the different questions that someone had asked to Warren Buffett and what he has responded. And if we go up to the top of the page again, whatever you might be thinking, like what is his advice on alternative to common stock? Well, for instance, derivatives. You can see here, everything that you can think of, like Charlie would play a big role too, but basically that would be Warren Buffett's and partly Charlie Munger's thoughts on a lot of different things. And you also have the chance down here to see when it was published, so you can relate it to the point in time. So even though I haven't been personally mentored by Warren Buffett, I always kind of felt like I knew what he would advise in different situations. Clearly I can't know this for sure, but if you really study a person and read several books about a person, I think it is somewhat, I wouldn't say easy, but it makes it a lot simpler to guess or to estimate what that person would do in the different situations. And in that respect, I think Warren Buffett is probably one of the best people out there to imitate. So if you have a question for me, or perhaps me guessing or estimating what Warren Buffett would do, please feel free to drop me a line. You can do that at asktheinvestors.com, where you can also record your question, or you can tweet to me directly at Stig_Brodersen.